Shadow of his former self. Jinx, personal jinx. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You owe me a Coke.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to today's Rowdy.com Big Three. And as I live and breathe, Jerome Buzz Cutler and Leonard Bassmaster sitting next to each other.
Together again.
For the very first time. In the Rowdy Studios talking NASCAR racing. You've got the issues. I've got the answers.
Oh, I don't get to provide any answers?
Nope, you just moderate.
Oh, great. Thanks.
I'm kidding.
All right, so the number 56 team.
Yes.
Wholesale change. Is it wholesale or wholesale?
Sale.
Wholesale changes.
Yeah.
Wholesale changes to the number 56 team. We've seen in the past guys change out one over-the-wall dude here or there, one tire carrier, a jackman. They're taking 4 guys out and replacing them with 4 other guys.
Well, when you consider the pit crew's only 6 guys, you're at 66% turnover there. It's a new pit crew. I mean, pretty much. And I think that what happened is they made several mistakes. He's had fast cars. He had a good car at Richmond. Mistake, problem. He had a good car at Texas. Mistake, problem. You can't keep going down that road.
Yeah, but if you look at Martinsville, stuck throttle, not their fault. Talladega got caught up in a wreck, not their fault.
How many races have we had so far?
Was the broken stud in Richmond the over-the-wall crew's fault?
Of course it was. It's all their fault. How do you know that the hung throttle wasn't their fault? Maybe something got stuck up in there.
Somebody took their gum and they shoved it under there.
Lug nut bounced up and stuck up in there. Look, I don't know. He's had enough problems in the pits. Those aren't the only problems in the pits.
Okay, but
the 2 that I mentioned.
He's 22nd. He's not going to make the chase. He's not going to get.
He's not.
He's not going to get a wild card spot, even if he is in the top 20, and he's certainly not going to make it into the top 10.
My sense is, look, in sports, you don't want to panic too soon. You don't want to blow the thing up just because you had a couple bad runs or whatever. But when you have multiple problems over a period of time, I don't think Truex is the kind of a driver who's going to freak out at the first sign of trouble. He's reached the end of his rope. For the driver's sake, they had to make a significant change. Sometimes you just have to. Sometimes the coach is good, but he's lost the players, and they need a new voice, and he gets let go. I'm not saying these guys are bad. I'm just saying I understand why they made a change, and I think they did the right thing.
All right, let's move on to issue number 2. Slice bread, Joey Logano got knocked around by 5-time at Richmond. Remember, towards the end of last season, Joey actually stood up and retaliated what was against Ryan Newman.
Yes,
Kevin Harvick.
Newman. He had a run-in with Newman. Harvick had a run-in with him.
I talked to him specifically about this at Joe Gibbs Media Day, and Logano said something to the effect of, look, I had to retaliate. I had to stand up for myself in part to gain the respect of Greg Zipadelli. Well, at Richmond, Zippy is the one who was saying, you better stand up for yourself. You better stop letting guys knock you around and start retaliating. So Joey, this might be an ongoing process for Joey.
It's an ongoing process for everybody, in my opinion. And you got to learn this because you can take it too far. We've seen that too. You get a hair trigger, and then you're always freaking out anytime you get roughed up a little bit, and you develop bad relationships with people. On the other hand, and this is the flip side of that. This may be the flip side of Juan Pablo Montoya and his issue with Ryan Newman, where if I freak out about everything, I get a lot of enemies. On the other hand, if I don't freak out about anything, then I get a bunch of people knocking me around. And maybe Joey's at that point where he needs to be a little more aggressive with retaliating. Certainly, if his crew chief is telling him that, then Zippy thinks so.
And his spotter was telling him that.
But it's not that easy, is my point. It's not that easy. It's not just walk around and be a tough guy all the time.
But here's the thing. I guarantee you, over the course of this past week, the post-Richmond week, I guarantee you that Greg Zipadelli sat down with Joey Logano, and if I'm the 48, if I'm Jimmy Johnson, I'm going to avoid that orange 20 like the plague because I think, at Greg Zipadelli's urging, Joey Logano has the 48 in his sights.
Could be. And I think it's also, though, the question isn't just this one incident and how do I respond. It's how do I carry myself, quote unquote, on the racetrack.
Exactly.
So where I have good relationships with guys, but they also know they can't mess with me.
Well, right now, they're messing with them.
Yes, it would appear so.
All right, issue number 3. We had the NFL draft recently, last week.
Go Cam Newton, go.
Go Cam Newton.
Go Cam Newton. Go Cam Newton. Go Cam Newton, go.
Well, David Newton over at the 4-letter wrote an article saying...
Cam's brother.
Cam and David are related, are they?
Just kidding.
David wrote an article over the 4-letter saying, hey, what if NASCAR had an NFL-like draft? Who are the young guys, non-Cup guys, that you would pick? If you had the number 1 pick in the NASCAR draft...
A young guy.
Young guy. Can't be a Cup guy.
Right. So, like Trevor Bain's an obvious choice.
Trevor Bain, Justin
Allgaier, Ricky
Jason
Stenhouse
Leffler.
Jr.
Right, Danica Patrick.
Danica. Well, if you're looking for marketing,
Danica Patrick.
maybe see, the thing is, what do you want to do with a draft? I mean, that's, I think, really the question for sports organizations. What do you want in the draft?
Do you want to sell
need?
tickets?
Do you want to be good tomorrow? Are you planning for it years from now? That's the question.
Right,
do you want to sell tickets? Is that the most important thing that your organization needs to attract sponsorship dollars so you can build a good team and have good equipment? And that's the most important thing you want to do early on in the history of your
obviously,
organization.
Somebody like a Travis Pastrana or a Chase Elliott are going to be more of a project, whereas somebody like a Justin Allgaier or a Trevor Bain might be able to come in and contribute more quickly.
As a driver.
Right.
A Danica Patrick's going to bring in dollars. A Travis Pastrana's going to bring in dollars. What's the potential like? You know, Danica's done some things this year that you might say, you know, she's got enough potential. She brings in the money. Let's go with her. Or Travis Pastrana. He's a crossover sport guy, a guy that comes from action sports. Certainly he's going to attract a whole new crowd. So I think, but like you say, if you look for young guys, I like Justin Allgaier a lot. The guy won Bristol. The guy won Bristol in Nationwide Series.
And remember, he switched teams.
Isn't he the last Nationwide regular to win a Nationwide race?
And he switched teams, lost his Penske ride, switched teams,
pretty well.
And he's atop the rankings. I'll tell you who else I think is an intriguing pick. Darrell Wallace Jr. Young guy, but he has won some K&N races, K&N East races.
We could call him DW.
He is, he's probably the most successful guy to come out of the Drive for Diversity program yet. And there's something historical about being the Branch Rickey of NASCAR, and so I think you would have the marketing.
Wait. Oh, you want to be Branch Rickey.
Yeah.
He gets to be Jackie Robinson.
Exactly.
What, are you just taking Wendell Scott and you're tossing him overboard now?
Well, no, but Wendell Scott was how many years ago? 40 years ago? 50 years ago? So, I mean,
So he was the Jackie Robinson.
Okay, but he didn't.
I know what you're saying.
He didn't open the door to, the floodgates.
Oh, he opened the door. There just was nobody behind him.
So I think Darrell Wallace Jr. is one of those guys, young guys, who would be a project like a Chase Elliott. But I think there is also that marketing and historical aspect of it that's intriguing.
If you hit a home run with him, you'd really, just like, if you got a Danica Patrick or another woman to be successful in NASCAR, it'd be a lot of big potential there. All right, that has been your Rowdy.com Big Three. Loads of potential here. Until next time, I'm Bass. He's Buzz. We'll see you.
Rowdy.com. Say it like it is.
Say what like it is?
Rowdy.com.